In a letter dated May 31st, 2019, which was seen by this newscast, Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu instructed the chair of the Guyana National Newspaper Limited, Gita Chandan Edmund, to rescind the decision taken by the board 2 months ago. Back in April, Chandan Edmund had reportedly broken a deadlock and voted to have Duncan dismissed following recommendations from an audit which found he breached several financial regulations with some 20 transactions. In a statement at the time, the GNNL board had disclosed that one director recommended 1 month suspension and an extension of probation for Duncan, while two other directors recommended an extension in the probation period, while three other directors held the view that Duncan's services be terminated with immediate effect for gross misconduct. It was noted that a vote was then put on the matter, and there was a tie which Chandan Edmund broke. However, in the correspondence to the GNNL chair, the Prime Minister, who has responsibility over state media, pointed out that he was informed by directors that there was in fact no vote put to the table. Nagamutu said, quote, "What now remains is a glaring question of procedural irregularity in arriving at the decision to terminate Mr. Duncan. It should be clear that asking members of the board their views on a situation does not amount to a vote," end quote. Calling the decision to fire Duncan arbitrary, capricious, unlawful, and in excess of the jurisdiction of the board, the Prime Minister said to the chair, quote, "It is clear that you deliberately sought to terminate Mr. Duncan without following prescribed procedures and further misleading this office. In this premises, I cannot rely on your advice that the termination of the service of Mr. Duncan accords with due process and procedural fairness, and instruct that that decision be rescinded," end quote. The Evening News was told that the management and staff of the Guyana Chronicle were informed of the decision earlier today during an emergency meeting. Reports are that several board members have since indicated their intention to resign in light of this decision by the Prime Minister. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.